always on the ones and twos, as we say, the Dr. Dre of the board. I know you might want somebody else, so we'll go ahead and DJ Khaled or whatever. But joined in the morning by Harrison. Always truly appreciative. How you doing this morning, Harrison?
I'm doing great. Obviously, Husker win yesterday, 31-14. I'm not sure how many people would pick that spread, but I'll take it. I think the cover was like 1.5 or 2.5, maybe at the most. So yeah, we had the post game show, or should say the morning post game show with Jay just a little bit ago. And yeah, people are up and early. I think we had about 60, 70 people just watching the stream. So you can tell people are getting up this early and hear their Husker content. It's a good morning. And again, this is always a great show as well. If you guys want to join at any time at all, 402-464-5685. And if you're watching the video stream, you'll just have to forgive Pete Ferguson. I see he's repping the Cowboys gear. Proud again this morning.
We got the Rams today. Go ahead. What do you think? Now that's a different call-in show. Go ahead with DP and them later on. But we're gonna take the ship. But go ahead, Harrison. How else can they get in touch with us?
Yeah, we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 951. A great way to put a face to the voices. We got some scholars in here as well, and you guys are always good. Feel free to engage the show if you want to kind of get a little bit of perspective on their lifestyle and the education system. It's always a good way to do so.
Awesome. No, excited in a lot of ways. A good weekend. I always tell people what a difference a year makes. I mean, we've been on for a little over a year, and I think coming in sometimes in the morning was a little bit of downer, even though we say it's bigger than the score. But volleyball got a win last night as well. Got a sweep for the UNL women. So it was a full day.
Over Maryland.
Right? And then they had their soccer, I believe, today. And so you've just got a lot of things, the rifle squad. And so UNL athletics, that, like we talked about last week, that crossover season, the NBA started this week. So that, for me was kind of cool. You got basketball, a men's and women's doubleheader, I believe, kind of exhibition going on. So the city's kind of a buzz, and a lot of other things. Always kind of look for some different things too, Harrison. I'm just going to throw this on you. I didn't put this in the rundown notes, but wanted to kind of start the morning out with some shout outs, when we come into the space, and just some people who've either personally contributed or just kind of invested. Keith Brown, he's been on the show before, Mr. I'm Possible. Probably if you haven't seen, you can go and look at archived episodes on YouTube or at the Ticket or on the Ticket app. Energy beyond belief, but energy with content. He was in the Dutch Caribbean and doing some facilitation, and just seen some of his videos and hyping him up. So really appreciate him. Dr. Amanda Morales, she's been a co-planner and facilitator for me. She's a professor at the University of Nebraska. We're facilitating the Educators of Color Summit. Excited. 93.7 The Ticket is also just supporting with some items and some support with that too, the 2nd through the 4th. And so nearly 100 educators from across the state are going to be participating in that. So just wanted to shout out to her for her efforts. And then I know you made fun of me with the Cowboys gear, but I'm mixing it up. I got Under Armour, Adidas, Nebraska, and Nike probably on today. So I'm mismatching with that. So, but that being said, we had senior night last night.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. It was good. It's just kind of hard to believe. In August, we were at Memorial Stadium, for an exhibition game with Wayne State, and honored a number of seniors there. Emerson Siza, Jensen Rowe, Rihanna Wilhelm, Celeste Friesen, Lauren Taubenheim, who's actually a Pius 10 graduate. So she, and then my daughter, Jaden Ferguson, who attended Lincoln Southwest. And so they've had a phenomenal year. I want to say 22-3 or 23-3 right now. And they will finish their last 4 games on the road. But they've really just, it's been a nice blend, a nice gel, but just got to walk out on the court a second time. I did it a year ago, and kind of a cool moment all the way around.
What are the emotions? Kind of, that's a long journey, right? With your daughter going through all the way through college, and now, what are kind of those feelings on senior night? Because you always talk about it, you're good at just always appreciating the moment. Yeah. Would kind of being there on that senior night for UNK, what were the emotions for that one?
Yeah, it just, taking it all in. They've got a tremendous scoreboard, and their Loper Vision does a cool thing, and so they kind of recapped all the young ladies. And
like a nice little highlight reel.
Nice little highlight. And I'll actually end up sending it to you. It was really cool. Like, you just, you take that in, you're appreciative, because you're just like, okay, I think sometimes we don't capture that and see, like, okay, they were showing them at the stadium, they were showing them preseason, walking out the tunnel. And then it was a moment I just shared with Johnny outside. There was a seasoned individual, longtime Carneyite. I don't know what else to call him, but he, after the game, he came down and he was, talking to Jaden, and he just said, I've come to a lot of games, and to, I'm really appreciative of you being here, and really, and that was for me, like with the pictures of her with young fans, to all of a sudden this elderly gentleman, you know, talking to her, showing his appreciation was really cool.
That's awesome.
And that's what I'll take away. The win was great. The season will come to a close. Hopefully the way they want it to, but the only way that will happen is if they win the national championship.
Yeah, but only one team gets to do that.
Yeah, one team gets that opportunity. But that moment, like that's what I'm gonna like. I've got that picture on my phone, and that's the one that I'm gonna be like, okay, this is what this experience was about.
That's awesome. And again, I know you always say it, but again, if you're, any of the parents out there, or just, member of the family, or you just care about that individual and you go to their sports, it's always just about being present in the moment. You know, those are always kind of my best times. If I had a bad game, my dad always did a good job about not breaking it down. He just, Joe would go in the game, he'd just talk about, some of the fun things. So again, it's always just good to be, present in that moment. But you had on the notes here, I'm a little curious. I want to ask you about what is the trunk or treat door to door or door to door?
So for me, I saw this trivia question. Would you? And I think Bill Bush and them on the morning.
That sounds like an early break.
Yeah, they were talking about it. Trunk or treat or door to door. And I think when we bring in our guests, I want to ask them as well.
Okay.
Like, because I think for me, like, which do you prefer? Like the trunk or treat thing is like,
I've never heard that. What is trunk or treat?
Trunk or treat, like people park in a parking lot, and you go to the back of cars and they just hand out candy. Like they decorate their cars, and like they have themes, and then you just like basically trick or treating from cars.
Do I live under a rock, or has this been going on for like a long time? I'm getting some head shakes from the scholars.
Is this the thing? Is this the new thing now?
I'd say that. I got a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son now, and we've done a lot of trunk or treating just because they are younger. And so doing that door to door, walking those kids door to door has been a little bit harder than, when you're older. So we've been doing a lot of trunk or treating lately just because the kids are so young.
Okay.
Kind of like Pete was saying, these people will get really creative with ideas that they're doing, building, spider webs out of their car trunk, or even like throwing a body in there and going like, oh, there's a body.
So hold on. So that's the problem I have. So hey, let's go ahead. I know this is a little bit off script, but before, so the voices that are, the names that are with.
Yeah, we can get our introductions in before we go to break here. Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got 3 individuals here. They're fresh off. We like to bring champions into the studio, fresh off the State Cup, Nebraska soccer champ. I'm not a full soccer aficionado, so they'll get to talk about that a little bit later. But we've got Johnny, who is their coach. And Johnny is, I've known Johnny and his family. We'll talk about that a little bit later for a long time. We got Angel, who is a scholar. And so got that smile on and got that post win going on. And then we've got Cody over here, both of them, all of them sporting their medals. So good morning. Welcome, you guys. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Awesome. So going back to the trunk or treat, Harrison, like
it makes sense now when I realize it's like, okay, it's smart for like kids, because you're not going to be walking up and down entire neighborhoods if you got a 5-year-old or whatnot.
But you're going to the back of a car, like everything you tell every kid before, like don't go up to strangers, don't go up to like, isn't that what you were told? Like don't go to strange car, and then it's like that one, like not even one night of the year, like it seems like it spans all year.
It's like
all month.
Yeah, there's been a few 2-3 weeks ago that my girlfriend and kids have gone to, and then we went to Boo at the Zoo yesterday too, and so it's way before Halloween season actually too.
Yeah, so like Margo Pedrosa, Dr. Pedrosa, so as a colleague, a coworker, they had one, and they it was a sports center. It was like a ESPN Sports Center, and they had like a bunch of people there on a truck. They had the Sports Center theme.
Oh, that's awesome.
And everything. Like, I really think the ticket, DP, if you're listening, the ticket has got to do a trunk or treat. They've got to be a mainstay at trunk or treat with the studio and everything, and people. And then like you have 2 seats open, and then 2 scholars, they could sit down in order for them to get their candy. Like I'm throwing it out there. It's got to happen next year. So what about you all? Trunk or treat? Would you rather trunk or treat, Cody? Angel, trunk or treat, or would you rather go door to door?
I've never trunk or treat. I've only done door to door. So
you're an OG then.
Yeah.
You're an OG in the Halloween game. All right. What about you, Angel?
Yeah, growing up was always door to door, so I would have to stick with that one.
Okay. So I got another question. Then I want to get to know a little bit more about you, because this is the thing is I'm Harrison. I'm doing the education thing here in the morning. All right. So the pumpkin spice, is bacon more important than pumpkin spice? So bacon or the pumpkin spice? Which one for you, Harrison?
Definitely bacon.
Definitely bacon. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
100%. I don't have to question that one too much.
Okay, I was a little worried about you with the trunk or treat here for you, Cody. What about you? Bacon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bacon.
Okay.
I'm a big bacon guy too.
See, right there. Sorry, vegetarians out there, we got much love and appreciate for you.
I think you're asking the wrong demographic.
Yeah,
too.
this is this is the state. This is how we're making it happen. We'll a couple other questions. Hey, a couple other quick shout outs I just want to give out. State volleyball, I know is coming up this week. And so congratulations to those teams that are competing. Southwest, East, Pius, locally, Norris, and I know Lincoln Lutheran are making it. State football occurred as well. So North Star was eliminated. Great season, first time in playoffs for a while. East and Southeast. East is continuing a tremendous ride in the school's athletic program this year. They're upset Southeast, and then state band competition last week. We're going to come back after this break and get into it with our guests. We've got, again, Cody, Angel, and Johnny, and looking forward to that. But we'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. But there are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Coach Osborne's here. Do you think the option can work in this era of football right here?
If you can do something and do it well that other people don't see all the time, it's an advantage. So that's why I think particularly today, I would think being a good option team would give you an edge. And then if we could run a few passes, come off of that. And that's what happened last week with Malachi Coleman. They'd run a few options, and pretty soon their safeties were committing. And then all of a sudden, Malachi's got a lot of room to run back.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Join Planet Fitness now and get the PF Black Card for only $24.99 a month. You'll enjoy an upgraded experience with tons of perks.
Like access to more than 2,000 locations worldwide?
Yep.
And massage chairs?
Yes.
Can I bring a friend every time?
Sure.
Can my friend be a horse?
Nay. Sorry. Get the PF Black Card and feel spectacular. Only $24.99 a month. Our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, is your ticket to getting all the perks. Join today. See Club for details.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
So, yeah, that sounded like Heinrich's the guy. I think he said again, Heinrich's got to improve his conditioning, which is one of the most confounding things I've heard. He looks like a decathlete. I mean, he's not a dumpy quarterback.
Oh, he runs.
I mean, he's
pretty
one of
fast.
the best looking athletes on the campus.
Look at the run he had for the touchdown in that game. He looked pretty
Look
fast.
at the dude. How can his conditioning be bad?
What is this about?
It might be about that they asked him to do about everything.
He's carrying it 20 times a game.
Right.
He's a quarterback.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson with Peter Ferguson BHS LLC. Also on the ones and twos is Harrison. I always truly appreciate it. Harrison, if they want to get in touch with us, how can they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. 402-464-5685. That's the Starter Heyman text line. And you guys were great during the Inside the Huddle with Jay Foreman. Definitely feel free to join. So we did have Nyla chiming in here saying bacon, hands down, when you're asking about pumpkin spice or bacon. So
Okay, I appreciate you, Nyla. There you go.
Yep. And again, real quick, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 951. Great way to put a face to the voices. We've got Cody, Angel, Johnny, and cover your eyes, but Pete Ferguson in his Cowboys gear, all vetted out.
And Loper stuff. All right, that's
I'm okay
Rico,
with the
right?
Loper stuff. That's a nice
Rico,
look.
So we'll go ahead and make
That's
it happen.
nice,
So, well, hey, like Harrison said, we've got three phenomenal guests here, and kind of want to get into it. We introduced them right before the break, and the trunk or treat, and the bacon, and pumpkin spice. So we didn't have to kick anybody out of the studio. But glad to have them here. Let's start off with this. Johnny, tell us a little bit who you are, like who's in your family. Have you always lived in Lincoln? Kind of give us a brief synopsis of that kind of process for you.
So I was born in Laredo, Texas, and we basically moved to Nebraska before I was 1, I believe. And so I've lived in Nebraska my entire life, basically. I got a big family, huge family. If you know that,
Name
Pete.
them off. Name them off. I don't want anybody coming in here to the studio. I know your mom. If you don't name her off, she's gonna show up here.
Yeah, and that's why she's first on my list here. My wonderful parents, Guadalupe and Juan Cisneros. I got a brother and a sister, Jesus Cisneros, Isabel Cisneros. Jesus is actually student teaching at Omaha South right now too. So shout out to him. He's doing his thing with the kids. We'd love to see that. Man, my grandma, Gloria, across the street from me growing up. So that was a big influence in my life. I got tons and tons of cousins. I've got 2 aunts, Hope, Anita, and their kids. My dad is one of 13. So I've got a lot of cousins on that side. And so really proud to kind of shout them out here while we're here.
And where did you go to school? You said you Laredo, Texas. How about them Cowboys? But where did you go to? Did you go to school there in Lincoln? What was kind of your?
I've been so elementary, Belmont Elementary School.
Okay.
Middle school, Goodrich, and then that's when they did the remodeling. So I went to Leffler just because my mom worked literally right up the street from Leffler. It was an easy commute for her to take both me and my brother to school. We just walked, like she would park at her job and we would kind of just walk to the school. Very easy. And then alumni from Lincoln North Star. So big happy
How about them
that.
Gators? How about them Gators?
Yeah.
Angel, what about you? Who you represent, family, and have you were you born here, grew up here? Where are you at now?
I was born here and I've been living here all my life. So with my family, my mom, my dad, my 3 brothers, and my sister.
Okay.
We've been always here since the start.
Give us their names. Give them their shout outs and give them their flowers.
So my oldest brother is Eric, my sister is Dulce, and then my other brother is Andy, and then we got Randy.
Okay, fantastic.
And then my mom is Norma, and my dad is Gustavo.
All right, I was gonna say, don't forget the folks now.
Yeah.
Don't forget the folks. Schooling wise, where have you gone to school?
I've gone for elementary. I've gone to West Lincoln. Middle school, I went to Goodrich, like him, and then high school, I went to North Star. Well, I'm still in North Star right now.
Okay. At North Star, what grade for?
I'm a senior.
Okay, so doing that graduation, we'll ask you those plans afterwards. Here in a little bit. Cody, what about you?
So I've lived in Lincoln. I was born in Lincoln, and I've lived a couple other places for like 6 months, but I always came back to Lincoln.
Okay.
I went to middle school at Scott, and then I'm currently at Lincoln High.
Okay.
And in my family, I have my parents, my mom, Eileen, and my dad, Jason. And then I just have one sister.
Hey, you got to give the sister's name out there
Jessie,
now. I don't want her
Jessie.
getting bitter. She's like, you gave mom and dad, and you're like, one sister.
Yeah, her name's Jessie.
Jesse. Okay, fantastic. So tell us a couple things. I know you're involved in an organization, but like, what are you involved in right now within school and outside of school? And sports is one of those. Cody, I'm gonna start with you.
So I'm in soccer.
Okay.
And then I'm also in honor roll. So I'm taking like AP classes. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. And I love that. Like I said, we don't ever get scholars in here that'd be like making it happen. I think last week we had some individuals that were in the IB program over there at Lincoln High.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
So.
So we had to go ahead and lay that out. That was a whole segment there for Harrison, but fantastic. Angel, what about you?
I'm not as smart as he is, but I am. I do soccer as well.
Okay.
Do for the school. Made varsity for the past 3 years for North Star.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. And Johnny, I know you coach, but what's the day job, so to speak, or the day involvements and what were you involved in high school?
So I'm a full-time dad now.
Okay.
So full-time dad of two kids. Forgot to shout them out. Vanessa, my daughter, and Juan Angel, my son, named after my dad and my brother. And so full-time dad for now. And then I started up a new job here working from home remote, which don't tell work, but I've been able to kind of use my other monitor to kind of help with film with these guys and work hard, man. I'm a full-time coach. I don't get paid for it. I'm a volunteer coach, but I see it as I'm a full-time coach. I work 2 full-time jobs. Coaching them is my other full-time job. I wish I got a nice little paycheck for it, but it is what it is. Really more what it is kind of just being that role model figure to these guys and kind of being that last coach before they do go to college, if they do want to go to college for athletics.
And you've also had some experiences in high school athletically. What's been your athletic journey, not only just in high school, but you also played collegiately?
Yep. So yeah, I made varsity for North Star 3 years in a row. So sophomore year all the way to senior year. I grew and developed over those years, and so my senior year was really my breakout season, which is what I want for a lot of these kids here too. I got 2 game-winning assists my senior year. I was in Lincoln Journal Star at least 3 times, just based off of performances that we've had. I made best of the city in 2015, and that is, I think, also too how I got into the college opportunity. I got to play at York College under an amazing coach, John Ireland. He really is kind of what helped me become the coach who I am today. He was really, really big on the X's and O's and the walkthroughs and the, hey, if the ball's over here, everybody moves over here. And kind of like, hey, this is our shape. We don't lose our shape during the game. So without him, I probably wouldn't have played college soccer. And he now coaches at Arkansas. I kind of wish I followed him a little bit, but I was not at 18, 19 years old. I was not tempted to make an 8-hour drive for college. And so I was already getting homesick 45 minutes away from home. And so I knew that 8-hour drive wasn't going to be worth, or at least good for
gonna
me.
wasn't gonna work for you.
Yeah.
I know your mom's cooking because she throws it down. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, being 8 hours away, unless she was coming with me, part of that NIL package, that wasn't gonna happen. Angel, I want to kind of ask you because Johnny talked about like being a coach, and we'll talk about the organization that you all are a part of. But talk a little bit about like what that relationship has been like. Not only him as your coach, but just him as a mentor and advocate for you.
I feel like the relationship is really close since he was really close with my brother Eric.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been growing up. So I've known him growing up. So I was like, he's a familiar face, so it would be easy to connect with him. Easy being coached under. So I felt like that connection really helped in this journey.
Awesome. Cody, why do relationships absolutely matter? Why do they matter to you?
I mean, just for the sport itself, like building confidence and making things fun. Because without relationships, it's hard to really have fun, and it's really important.
And I think Johnny, as you kind of hear them talk about, like, Angel talked about the relationship with you, and then Cody talked about the importance of relationships. Why do relationships matter, not just in coaching, but education, and the job that you do? Why do you see that as such an important piece? Oftentimes that it's bigger than the overall score of things.
The biggest thing my mom has always told me is it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And prime example here, I know a couple of college coaches, and because I know those guys, a couple of those guys came to watch the game yesterday. Okay. And my assistant coach, he also played college soccer, so he was able to reach out to a couple of people too. And so the big thing about relationships is getting those good connections, is getting yourself out there. And I'm not the best at it just because I'm always I try to stay true to myself. I don't try and put on a different face for people, right. But relationships are definitely important as far as growing and just kind of getting that extra look and spotlight on. Like I said, another incident too was right before I decided to sign for York, Coach Axel, he signed us up for a tournament, and he brought a couple of his college teammates with him, and I was a starter on a team where there were guys who were already playing college sports. And it was because, Axel's dad put his faith in me to win the tournament. I put on a good performance. We made it to the knockout rounds. We didn't win that tournament, but we made it pretty far in the tournament. And simply because there was a couple guys from York on the team, as soon as they got back to York, they said, hey, this cat, Johnny Gress, he's something different. You guys need to bring him. And it didn't take longer than 2-3 weeks. I had the visit, I met the coach, and everything was good after that.
Cool. That's powerful. Cody, what's something that people don't know by just looking at you?
Talk about that GPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a solid GPA. I study hard in school.
Okay.
You got it solid. Tell them.
It's like a 4.2.
Oh, you can go over 4.
Yeah.
That point. But like really, like I said, if somebody's just walked by this studio today and looked in here, they know you're on the radio. But obviously your GPA, your ability, but what's something people just wouldn't know by just looking at you?
I don't know. Probably like I really love soccer.
Okay.
I really do. I love playing it. I love everything about it, and that's something that's really important to me that you wouldn't know if you just saw me randomly on the street.
So do you got any other hobbies, or when you get free time, or you just going out, rolling the soccer ball out?
I mean, a lot of times, yeah, like with friends and stuff, I'll go to like Maple Lee, which is near here.
Yeah.
Or Park Middle School. But also I'll do other stuff. It's not like soccer's the only thing.
You got hitting those books. So
Yeah.
that's all right. Angel, what about you? What's something people wouldn't know by just looking at you?
I would say I'm really a family guy.
Okay.
Family's been there since day one. They've supported me all the time. I got a lot of cousins like him, a lot of aunts, uncles. They've been there for me. They've been there for everyone in my family.
Awesome. What's that family moment that you would want to put out to people, being like, man, this is like, I wish everybody could experience this?
We usually, like, the sport we play in our whole family is volleyball. So when we get the chance to play volleyball, it's really amazing.
Okay. Who's the best volleyball player in your family?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, you like,
That's
I
a
gotta
tough
go
one.
home, Pete, man. Like, who would, okay, give you the top two. The top two.
I would say my dad is up there.
Okay.
My dad is up there.
Okay.
And then
I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have guessed you saying Goose.
and then my uncle Francisco.
Okay. Cool. I want to go back. Angel, I want to start with you real quick. What's something that brings you joy?
Soccer.
Okay. Cody.
Probably the people around me, like my friends and stuff. Just being with other people, that makes me happy.
Awesome. Johnny, what about you? What's something that brings you joy?
Man. Honestly, because I have the two kids, it's just putting smile on other people's faces. Especially as a coach, that's what I get to do now. Like I was telling Pete, this club has been together for a long time, and us three, are a part of a team that made history. We were the first team to ever make it to the final stage and the first team to ever win the finals. And so seeing the smiles on people's faces after the game was awesome. And then even if, they weren't the happiest that day, it was throughout the season, there were moments of great happiness, great, achievements for everybody. And that was the big thing coming back was, I expressed that a lot when I came back it was more, hey, I'm here to help you guys win, of course, but I'm also here to help you get that recognition that I think you guys deserve. And as soon as they started to realize that me and our other coach Axel could kind of bring those collegiate figures in their lives, a lot of people started to get really, really excited and smiling after that.
I think that's cool. When we come back and talk a little bit about that, part of the Dreamers soccer program or football program, for those to be officially, to say it the right way, but just won the state cup, and they're going to be representing in June with the number of phenomenal scholars. But with that being said, we're going to take a quick break. You're on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Pete Ferguson. We'll talk to you right after this.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Okay, everybody, ready to go caroling?
Are the people in your neighborhood nice?
Oh, you bet. Well, everybody except Mr. Carpenter. Now, come on, Jim. He's just a little cranky.
Are you kidding? Last year, he chased us down the street with a rake.
I'm sure he was just having a bad day. Now, here's his house. Everybody smile and get ready to run.
Well, hello, everyone. It's so great to see you all. Are you okay, Mr. Carpenter? Oh, yes. I just bought a bunch of Nebraska Lottery Holiday Classic scratch tickets. Until January 3rd, 2024, when you enter non-winning holiday tickets online, you have a chance to win $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000. Talk about a classic little Christmas. In fact, I'm so merry, I'd like to give you all some tickets.
Oh, what a nice gesture, Mr. Carpenter. Is there anything we can do for you?
Yeah, shovel my driveway.
And don't sing.
Top prize odds vary by game.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Beef, Bure's Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Coach Osborne's here. Do you think the option can work in this era of football right here?
If you can do something and do it well that other people don't see all the time, it's an advantage. So that's why I think particularly today, I would think being a good option team would give you an edge. And then if you could run a few passes, come off of that. And that's what happened last week with Malachi Coleman. You know, they'd run a few options and pretty soon their safeties were committing. And then all of a sudden Malachi's had a lot of room to run back.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, probably not one of our smoothest transitions, but welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bigger Than the Score with Pete Ferguson, BHS LLC, and Harrison Do It All, who was helping me with some headphones and on the board and get me straight on the mic. So
yeah, at least we've identified the problem. So that's what you're here for, the troubleshooting.
It's got to be a start. Hey, we are joined here by three who have been just kind of putting knowledge forward and really appreciate that. Johnny, who is I would say a coach, but I've also kind of defined him as a youth advocate and mentor as well. Angel and Cody, who are two scholars. One's attending as a senior. Angel talked to us. He's the senior over at North Star, and then Cody, who is over at Lincoln High. So I'm really appreciative of them. Hey, so we left off just right before the break. Johnny was kind of explaining a victory that you all had, and it's fairly significant, not only just for your program, but just in general as you all play. Johnny, you all are part of the Dreamers football program. And with that, you just recently competed in the state cup. And so what is that? And then I want to ask these young men what they just accomplished.
So state cup essentially is one of the bigger tournaments in the state. You have to reach certain requirements as far as points goes to your placement in the bracket already, like how the NCAA does, the first seed, right, second seed, third seed. And so you have to, throughout the season, get points to qualify for that. This year was interesting. We had 4 teams in the tournament. A couple times earlier, there will be a little bit more. But they did have to have a play-in bracket this year, which was an interesting concept to me, just because I just assumed, if you signed up for the tournament, you were in the tournament. Right. But no, there was a lot more to it. You had to do your due diligence beforehand and get those points, because then with some of the other brackets, not pertaining to ours, but some of the other brackets, there's wild card points. And so, if maybe, you didn't have the best postseason, but you had a great preseason or season, you could, potentially use some of those wild card points to go up that. We didn't have the luxury of that. We had 3 games and we didn't win the first game. So it was a matter of, we have to go perfect after this run. And these guys are a solid group of guys that even after losing the first game, I never doubted any of these. I never doubted any of these boys. I never doubted my team. We had a game plan throughout the entire season. We just kind of stuck to it. And but yeah, it's a really, really big tournament. They even announced, so we take part in voting post-match. We get a slip, coaches get a slip 1, 2, and 3 from the opposing team in order how we rank them. And then one of our guys, I want to say since the last 5 years, the most that this Dreamers team has had is 2 people make best 11 in the state. We had 4 yesterday who made best 11 in the state yesterday. So that was also something that this club has never been in the final. So kind of being able to be there when they were reading off the best 11 list and seeing how many of boys that were from our team made it was amazing.
Awesome. Angel, tell us a little bit, like you participated and got the medal on and showing that hardware.
Yeah, we do have some support from Facebook too, from Dulcie or Dulce. I don't want to, the last name I don't want to mispronounce.
Yeah, that's my sister right there.
You shout says, we love you, Angel. So shout out to your sister.
Shout out to Mia too, which is her daughter.
Hey, tell us a little bit about your part of this Dreamers program and just what has that been like? What has that been like?
You've been here from the beginning. Yep.
I've been with Dreamers before it was Dreamers, before the name. So I've been here for the start with Coach Ricardo, the president.
Okay.
And we've been chasing that dream since. Right now we're U18, but we've been chasing State Cup since we were U13.
Okay.
5 years, and now accomplishing it, winning it all, has been like a dream come true.
What do you think? Because it's a nice tie-in with the actual name, but what makes the program so special? I mean, oftentimes we've talked a lot about youth athletics and just even professional. For somebody to be with something from its inception and to see it out to this point, I know there's probably been some hard times and there's been some moments where you're like, okay, this is fantastic. But what has made it so special that you're like, there was no other place that I wanted to be?
It's the amount of diversity that we have in all the teams. In the whole club.
Why is that important for those that might be listening and not quite understand that?
Like, again, with the connections, with the relationships, it would really help him like succeed. Yeah,
Love that.
Pretty much
Love that. Cody, what about you? You've been part of this program. How long have you been part of the organization?
I think like 2 or 3 years. So not as long as Angel.
Okay. What drew you to it? What made it something that's special? Say, you know what, I can see myself here.
So I followed some teammates from my old team, and I actually wasn't with Angel or Ricardo until this year. So this was my first year with Johnny, my first year with Angel, but just throughout, like, it's just been great. There's been a lot of diversity. It's cheaper. It's easy to pay. They give you a lot of opportunities to actually pay for the program without with just working instead of like using money up front. So it's really nice. It's a great program.
I think I like some of the things that you had talked about, and we don't traditionally get, to hear it come from the youth aspect, where you talked about affordability, you talked about the experience, but you talked about that doesn't impact the quality of coaching and the experience. Why, what piece of advice would you want to give to those that are kind of involved in overseeing? I don't want to say youth programming, but just kind of programming in general. What's a piece of advice that you would want to give based off your experience that you've had in Dreamers?
I think one thing that's important is just showing, opening opportunities, letting people be shown, like showing off players and stuff like that, and showing themselves to players too, to give players options.
Like that, like that. Angel, about same thing with you. What's a piece of advice that you would give to those that are kind of coordinating or in the mix of it right now, or thinking about developing something? What's a piece of advice that you'd give to them?
I would say just having fun with it. Because having fun, you play at your best, you do your best. Yeah, I would just say having fun, doing the sport you love, doing anything you love.
Like that. I want to kind of come back to you. What's a piece of advice that you would give to your peers? And I say peers kind of like kindergarten on up to those that, that 20-year-old still in the mix, maybe even playing at Nebraska. What's a big piece of advice that you would give to them if you had them all in front of you right now?
I would say just to learn. Learn. While growing up, you got a lot of things to prove. You got a lot of things to learn. You're going to fail a lot of the times. Not going to succeed most of the time. Not. So I'll just say learn off your mistakes, based off of that, and just overcome what you need to do.
Like that. Cody, same thing for you. What's a piece of advice that you would give to your peers?
Yeah, I like what Angel said. I'd just say keep trying and just keep going. Like, don't stop. Keep improving, keep getting better.
When's the time that you've done that personally?
So my freshman year at Lincoln High, I only made JV, and all JV season I was just riding the bench. And then the next season I like in between seasons I was training all the time. I was always on the soccer ball, and the next season I was so much better.
Love that. Johnny, you're a youth mentor, an advocate, so much more than a coach. What's a piece of advice that you would give to young people that are out there right now, that you've not only given to your team, but you're like, you know what, if I could just expand this knowledge, what's something that you would give to others?
Oh man. I think the thing that I would say is always just kind of be open to criticism. I know, growing up, sometimes when for example, sometimes you don't have the best coaches, kids will tend to start coaching themselves, and kids will start to critique themselves. So when somebody who has a little bit more knowledge, or somebody who cares a little bit more about the game wants to criticize and say, hey, you're a great player, but I think you need to work on this, and this. I was surprised at how many kids would tell me, no, I think I got this, or like, no, that part of my game is okay. And so really, that was the biggest thing about me was in high school, my sophomore year, the first thing that the coach told me was, he says, hey, look, you might swing down. He says, I don't see you as a starter for varsity. You might swing down. And I didn't take that lightly. To Michael Jordan reference, I took that personally. I kept training. I kept working hard. And first game, season opener against Lincoln East, I was a starter that game and started every game after that. It was just the criticism. And even when he would pull me out, the first thing I would say is hey, can I ask why I got pulled out? And one time it was just, you look tired. And I was like, okay, so now I need to know I can't look tired on the field.
Right.
I can't act like something is bothering me, because if this guy thinks I look tired and that's why I'm coming out, I can't afford that, because I want people to recognize that Johnny was on the field when we were doing good things. And so that, I think, is the advice I want to give my peers, is always just kind of be open to criticism, good criticism and bad criticism. You're going to have to just take it on the chin. And, like these guys said, you can make mistakes. You just got to learn from them.
Awesome. Cody, what are your future plans, aspirations, kind of moving forward? Obviously, winning the whole ship, in June, but what are some future plans and aspirations for you personally, or I'd say even professionally?
Right. So I want to graduate high school, obviously, and then after high school, I'm interested in going to like a 4-year college and possibly playing soccer while I do that.
Okay. So if you had your dream, what, school or program, what is that?
I don't know. There's a lot of good places here in Nebraska, but as a kid, I always wanted to go to Michigan, because that's where a lot of my mom's family went.
Right.
My mom's from Michigan, so I've always wanted to go to Michigan, but I'm open to anywhere.
Okay. And then any idea what you're thinking about majoring in, or what's your interest? Yeah, you obviously got that 4.2, so there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'd want to go into yet, but
Awesome. Angel, what about you? Future plans, aspirations?
I want to be an architect.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be looking into the architecture major, and then I'll be looking at the 4-year colleges. UNL is one of them, on the top of the list, maybe.
Okay.
That's
But
a
yeah.
good. UNL is definitely a good architectural school. You think more like buildings, landscaping, or what kind of route? Would
More
you go
like
down?
buildings.
Okay, sweet. Yeah.
So we were looking at a building here, and what is your favorite building? What is your favorite? I don't say the architectural achievement of Lincoln because it's just changing. Oh, it seems like almost overnight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with the basic route. I'm gonna just say the Capitol. The Capitol's really
Oh,
unique.
okay,
Good
okay.
choice.
That one's out there,
Yeah.
there. And soccer wise, what does the season look like for you two? High school wise and everything else.
We're just looking forward to this tournament in November. We got in Kansas.
Okay.
A showcase to like put all our talents out there.
Fantastic.
I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, hey, without question, really do appreciate that, Yanni, to you and your family. Like that, it's been fun. 'Cause I remember I was coaching your sister at softball, and y'all were at games, and so I remember your mom being behind the backstop when she would come down, and we were trying to tell her to slide, and you had to slide. Like the Y rules, you had to slide. If the ball was coming in, they'd call you out. And I remember they would give grace. And it was so funny. Your mom, one time she came and she didn't slide and they didn't say anything. And your mom was like, she's out. She's out. And my other story, Harrison, I know as we're breaking, is like I said, I remember we wouldn't tell her, bigger than the score, what the score was. And I remember she'd go back to your mom and said, when the coach doesn't tell you, you're done. So with that being said, we'll look forward to seeing you next week on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Pete Ferguson.
If you struggle with joint pain, there's good news. You don't need surgery.